Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Is this Doriana?
Yes, teacher, I am Soriana.
It's nice to meet you. How are you?
Nice to meet you too, teacher. Thanks, I am fine. And you?
I'm very well,
Hello,
thank you.
hello everybody.
Okay,
How are
teacher.
you?
Hello, is this Angie?
Yeah, I am Angie.
Hey, Angie, thank you for being here. We also have. Give me 1 second. No, it's just Zoriana and Angie. Um, is Catalina here? Catalina, if you're here, please answer. It seems.
Not yet. I can see her.
Oh, okay.
Ah, Catalina.
Yeah, she's here. Hello, Catalina.
Okay.
All right. So, we have everything ready, guys. Let me share my screen. And we're gonna start right now. So, today's topic, as you guys know, is a grammar session. And it's gonna be about deductions about the present. Let me write it right here. The present. So this can also apply for deductions about the future, but I'm gonna mark it within a parenthesis because normally we use it with the tenses that we use for the present. So that is present tenses. Before we start, I'd like to start with a quick warm-up. And let's try to guess, or if you guys already know, what is a deduction. We're gonna try to find out about that. So I'm gonna give you a clue. We also have words like assumption, or even closer, a guessing. So for this, I would like to ask Catalina, what do you know about deductions? Can you please explain me what is that about? You have to enable your microphone and tell me what is a deduction. Catalina. All right, that's not a problem. So let's do it with Angie. Angie, can you please tell me what's a deduction?
Okay, teacher. Deduction are, for example, in deductions, we use the modal verbs for indicate the actions that we must we must make in this case in the future time, for example, or yeah.
Yeah, it's
Or
exactly like that. We use modal verbs. You go ahead with that information, and it's excellent that you know that. Thank you for that. Now, Soriana, what can you tell me about deductions?
I don't know, teacher. I don't know about
Okay,
deductions.
what do you know about guessings? When I make a guess about something, what do you think is that? A guessing.
Guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Guessing when maybe guessing is when I suppose something.
Very well. When I suppose, I'm gonna write it. Suppose. Yeah. When I suppose
Something
something.
that is not true. Yes?
Yeah, I can suppose things that are not true. Let me write it. Things that are not true. But I can also make a guess about things that are true and
Yes.
that are true. So both. All right. So thank you very much for that, Soriana.
Okay, teacher.
Now let me guys explain you in detail what is that thing about deductions. It's important to know this concept because in education we use it a lot. Deductions. So deductions are observations we make from bigger facts. Let's imagine something big right here. And well, we make an observation of that big thing, and from that big thing, coming from that observation, we make an idea. So let me give you guys an example about that. The sun rises. I make an observation that the sun rises, and thereby I have another idea coming from that big idea, and it's people waking up. So you guys see how it has the tendency to go this way. That's why we call it a deduction. It kind of goes down with an arrow. We can also talk about deductions in the form of a triangle, upside down triangle. Here we have a big idea, and here we have a small idea. This goes as opposed with an induction, and an induction it's the opposite way. So we have a small idea, and from that small idea we can get a fact. That is an induction. Let me write it. This is a deduction, and this is an induction. It's important to know that. And this one goes in this way. So for this lesson, we're just gonna focus on deductions. All right. So here I got that we also gonna use modal verbs, and this is especially true when we make guessings about the present or the future. Now let me explain you guys that in more detail. So here the idea that I want you to do is that we're gonna read these paragraphs. I'm gonna read it for you, and I'm gonna mark the most special words so you guys pay even more attention to those special words. So the grammar explanation goes like this. We can use modal verbs for deduction, guessing, if something is true, using the available information. The modal verbs we choose shows how certain we are about the possibility. This page focuses on making a deduction about the present or future. So you notice how we're also talking about how certain we are about a possibility. So when we make deductions, we can talk also about certainty. And let's make this line. Let's imagine this is 100% and this is 0%. This is certain. Certainty. I can be completely sure about something, I cannot be sure about something, or I can be in the middle, and I'm not so sure about that. And let's call that 50%. Alright, so let's continue with the explanation. So this is in the case of must. Let me just delete this. Okay. So must. We use must when we feel sure that something is true or it's the only realistic possibility. So let me show you some of those examples. This must be her house. I can see her car in the garage. So this is the observation that I make. I can see her car in the garage. Thereby, the fact is that this must be her house. I'm 100% sure about that. Now let's look at this example. He must live near here because he always walks to work. So again, the observation is that I see this guy walking always to work, so he must be living quite closely to the office. I'm sure about this, so I use must. In this case, I use he must live near close. He must live near. In the first one, I use this must be her house. I'm always using must because I'm so sure about this. Come inside and get warm. You must be freezing out there. Again, the observation that I make is that I'm warm inside my house. It's cold outside. So if it's someone outside, it's obvious that he's gonna be freezing out there. And well, I use must again. You must be freezing because I'm 100% sure that's what's going on right now. That is the case of must. So in that line, I want you guys to locate must. This is certainty. So when we're 100% certain, we use must. All right. Now let's continue with might, may, or could. These all mean the same and they're interchangeable. So we use might, may, or could to say that we think something is possible, but we're not so sure. This is the most important phrase out of this sentence. But we're not so sure. So let me show you why we're not so sure. She's not here yet. This is the fact, the bigger thing that we know. Now we have the observation. She might be stuck in traffic. I'm making a guess. She's not here because she might. I'm not completely sure, but it's a possibility that she might be stuck in traffic. She might as well be stuck at the office or even at a party. I don't know about that. So that's why we use might, may, or could. I can also say she's not here yet. Instead of she might, I could say she may be stuck in traffic. I can also say she could be stuck in traffic. So those words are interchangeable. Now let's look at the second example. He's not answering. He could be in class. So I'm using he could again because there's a ton of possibilities he could be doing, but I'm choosing this because well, it seems likely, but I'm also telling you guys that I'm not so sure about that. So I'm letting you know that with the modal verb could. And finally, this one. We regret to inform you that some services may be delayed due to the bad weather. So the bad weather may be delaying some flights. We're not so sure about that. It's not so bad yet, but it's possible that in the future it gets worse. So that's why we use may. Here we have a small parenthesis. They all have the same meaning, but may is some more formal than might and could modal verb. So just to keep that in mind. It's not that important. Again, let's move back to our trend line. And we have 0%, 50%, 100%. So where could I put that may, might, or could? Well, just right here, because we're not so sure. We're 50% sure. So may, might, and could. Now let's continue with can't. It's right here. Can't. We use can't when we feel sure that something is not possible. So when we feel sure, That's again 100%, but as opposed to must, here we're sure that something is not possible. So let's look at some examples. It can be far now. We've been driving for hours. So in this example, you've been driving for hours. Thereby, you think the destination or the final point of arriving is not that far. And you're sure about that, but in a negative way. Now let's look at this second example. She can know about the complaint. She's promoted him to team leader. So she can know about the complaint. She's sure that he doesn't know about the complaint. So that's why we use can't. And the last one. It can be easy for him looking after 3 kids on his own. So I'm also again talking about the negative aspect here. It's not easy for him. It's difficult. So that's why I use can't. I'm completely sure it's not easy for him because he has also 3 kids. This is also another clue that I have. It's not that easy to raise those kids. Now how will we locate that can't? Let's imagine these are about talking positive aspects, and then we have also a negative trend line. And this is also 100%. So here we use can't. So we're sure something is not gonna happen. Not happening. This is as opposed to must, when we are sure something is gonna happen. Alright. Now we're gonna move to some exercises. So I would like to know, guys, if so far is everything clear? Or do you guys have any questions about this?
No, teacher, the information is clear.
Alright, Angie. Thank you for that. Now let's move to the exercises. Okay. So I need to close this. Save changes. No. And I don't want you guys just to tell me what's the answer. It's important to analyze the sentence. I'm gonna give you guys an example. So this is the exercise that I have. Do you remember my birthday party last year? You blank remember. It was the same day as your graduation. So I explained 3 topics. Being 100% sure, being 50% sure, and being sure something is not gonna happen. So I want you guys to tell me which of these 3 possibilities do I have in this sentence. So for this first exercise, Catalina, can you please help me telling me what do you think is the answer right there? Do you have your microphone available?
Yeah, teacher, but when you refer Catalina, is me, Stephanie?
Yeah, give me just 1 second. Stephanie, I'm sorry.
Okay. So I think maybe it's must.
Okay, let's look at that. Do you remember my birthday party last year? You must remember. It was the same day as your graduation. So why do you think it's must? Are we talking about a 100% certainty?
Yeah, because it's how to say, how don't remember that if was the same day of your graduation, right? So this is a cause maybe why they must remember the birthday party.
All right, very well. That's a good explanation. Thank you very much for that, Stephanie. Now, for this one, come in and sit down. You blank be tired after the journey. Zoriana, please help me with this one and analyze this sentence.
For this sentence, I think it's must.
Must. And why do you think it's must?
Be tired after the journey.
All right. And why do you think is that option?
I think it has the 100% of the possibility because he is very tired after the journey.
Yeah, because he had a journey. So most of the
Yeah.
time, we feel tired after having journeys. Very well. That's a very valid reason. Now let's go with Angie. Angie, whose is this coat? It blank be Paul's. It's way too small for him.
Yeah, okay. Whose is this coat? It can be pulled. It is way too small for him.
All right. So why do you think is can't?
Can is no puede ser because the code is too small for him. That is a sentence. That is 100% sure.
Yeah, that's correct. So we're 100% sure in a negative way because, well, the code is very small and Paul might be a very big man, right? Right, thank you for that.
Okay.
Now, Stephanie, please help me with this one. The exam results will be out soon. It blank be this week or possibly next week. There you have a clue.
Teacher, I suppose it's mine because, well, it's 50%. Can be this week or another, the next. So I suppose it's mine.
Very well. So here the clue is it might be this week, but when I say or possibly next week, I'm also talking two chances. So I'm not 100% sure that it's going to be this week. That's why we use might. Very well. Now, Zoriana. She always gets such good grades at school. She blank worked very hard.
Okay, she always gets such good grades at school. She must work very hard.
She must. Okay, very well. And why do you think is must?
Because it has the 100% and that the sentence says she always gets good grades.
Very well. So we're 100% sure because the information that we have is that she gets good grades. So from this information, I can make the observation that she must work very hard. Very well. All right. Let's continue with Angie. So the doctor said my headaches be because of the hot weather, but they're going to do some tests to be sure. So what do you think is the option right there?
Okay. Okay. The doctor said my headaches could be because of the hot weather, but they are going to do some tests to be sure. It's not 100% sure. Well, for this reason, the moral verb is could.
Excellent. You got it completely right. So yeah, in this case, let me just check it right here. Because the hot weather, they're going to do. So we also have these clues to be sure. They're going to do some tests to be sure. Thereby, we know they're not sure at the moment. Very well. All right, let's continue. I think it was this one. No. Okay. he blank or teacher, he looks about 12. So for this one, Stephanie, please help me with this one.
Okay, I think it's can't. He can be our teacher. He looks about 12. He's very young teacher.
All right, that's quite simple. Yeah, he's 12, thereby he cannot be the teacher. Very well. And this is 100% certainty, but in a negative way. So that's why we use can't. And the final one. This umbrella, take this umbrella just in case. It looks as if it blank gonna rain. Now here we have two clues. Take this umbrella and just in case is giving us a very good clue. And also looks as if, that's also a very good clue. So Soriana, please help us with that one.
For me is if it might take this umbrella just in case. It looks as if it might rain. It's not 100%, it's 50%. It's not sure that it will be rain.
Exactly like that. So it's just in case, and that is the clue that we have. So it's possible that it's not gonna rain, so take it just in case. That's why we use might. Excellent, Soriana. Thank you for that. Alright, so it seems like it's completely clear for you guys. Now it's time to make a summary. Let me write it right now. Summary. So, must. Stephanie, can you please help me tell me what can we say about must and how do we use it in the case of deductions?
Okay, I think a must is a modal verb, and we use when we have a when with 100% maybe. So we can use that modal verb where something is very possible.
Okay, very good. Very possible. Very possible. Can you please give me an example about that?
Okay. He must do a lot of exercise because he have his well-being. I don't remember what is this word to say. Fortachón, well-being, something like that.
Or
this
strong man. He must do a lot of exercise. I'm sorry. I do exercise. A lot of exercise because he's a strong man.
Another well build, yes. How to say that?
Okay. Which one? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
It's another word. I see another word for that. It means fortachón is well build, construir, something like that.
He's well built. Yeah, that's right. Well built.
Yeah, that word. Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Now, let's continue with might, may, or could. Before I ask for your help, let me tell you guys something. So, may, might, and could. These are interchangeable. That means they are all the same, but for the exception of may, it's a little more formal. It's not completely important to remember. It's more formal. We can simply use any of those. So, interchangeable. Okay. So, Zoriana, what can you tell me about this may, might, and could? How can we use that?
Okay, all of that deductions uh, shows 50% of sure.
Perfect. It's very well said. Deduction that we're 50% sure. All right.
50% sure.
Let me write it. That we're 50%. Let's circle that with blue. And sure. Now, can you please give me an example about that?
They should buy. Excuse me. He should buy that pants.
He should. No, but remember, we can only say may, might, or could.
Excuse me. Yeah. He might.
Okay.
He might buy that jacket because he lives in a freezing city.
All
No,
right.
excuse me. Lives in a colder city.
All right. Because
Excuse me. He might buy the jacket because
no,
he
but I'm
lives.
sorry. If we say he lives in a colder city,
No.
we're being sure about that.
He lives in a, how do you say in English? Caliente, warm city. In a warmer city.
Yeah. Well, that could also work. He lives in a warmer city. All right. So here the idea is to somehow express that we're not sure about that. You did very well with this first sentence. He might buy that jacket. We can simply leave it like that because, look, I'm gonna mark it with both. So this one is perfect because we have the subject, we have the modal verb, and the predicate. So we can just simply say he might buy that jacket, and we're gonna understand that you're not sure about that. All right. Now, what was the last one? Can't. So can't. So, Angie, can you please help me? How do we use can't?
Okay. We use can't when we are assured that something is not true. It's not true. 100% on the negative way.
Okay, perfect. So being sure 100% something is not possible, right? Now, can you give me an example about that?
For example, he can go to work because he's sick, for example.
Very well.
He can go to work.
He can go to work because he's sick. All right. So we successfully did the summary. We did must, may, might, could, and can't. It's important to remember about this graphic. Modal verbs look like this way, so they either go from highly positive or highly negative, and that's all. Well, I wonder, guys, if you have any questions.
No, teacher, for me it's clear.
No, teacher.
So much.
All right, it was a pleasure. With this, we mark the end of this lesson, and that's it for today. I hope you have a nice day.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Thank you, teacher. Have a nice day too.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.